Alright, hey guys, what's going on? This is a Fallout 4 uh, video vlog, just discussing a topic that pertains to Fallout 4. This is background gameplay of my level 67 build character, just wandering around the wasteland. I've discovered so many locations and done so much stuff in this game, so there's kind of not much left for me to do, which is one of the reasons why I'm making this video, because it pertains to Fallout 4 content. In particular, I'm going to be talking about the DLC content that was promised for this game. Now, the way that this content was promised was that there would be a season pass in which you would get all of the content, presumably on the marketplace for free, as long as you bought the season pass that was promised with the game originally. Now, the only problem that initially began for me was that I bought the collector's edition of Fallout 4 and was originally expecting the collector's edition to have the season pass included. Considering I paid the collector's edition was $120. That included the steel art book of the game, the full Pit-Boy wrist that was promised, the version that sold out quickly. I actually bought it for over $120 because I bought it from somebody who jacked up the price a bit on eBay because I actually missed the period of time when they were on sale. So for me, I was hoping with that kind of content that I would receive the season pass, because most collector's edition do something like that. That didn't seem to be the case. Oh, well, that's great. The Fallout 4 application's completely crashed. I guess this just hones into the rage of this video, which is great. I'm doing this live as I commentate. But to continue with my story, what occurred with this game was that I bought the collector's edition, as I said, was expecting the season pass to be in there. It wasn't in there. But luckily for me, it was only worth $30. $30 for the season pass, and you get everything. All of the promised DLC content for Fallout 4 would be promised with this game. And I was like, okay, $30. Sounds fair, considering what they've done in the past. Bethesda, I'm talking about, has done in the past with Fallout, considering the 5 major DLC expansions they had to Fallout 3, and then the major DLC expansions they had to Skyrim. Even though there were only 2 of them, I figured a game like Fallout 4 they had spent so much time on, they would easily be able to just even add a few more quests in, or, like Far Harbor, add new locations that allow the player to explore new areas and interact with new factions of different kinds. This was, for me, important. I love to continue playing Fallout, and as you saw on my map there, I did as much of the gaming content as I basically done all of the major side quests in this game. My guy is level 67. I've almost gotten every single major achievement. Just the other day, I got the Benevolent Leader achievement, which is one of the hardest ones to get. And the only ones that I haven't got are doing the side quests for the other factions, including the Railroad. So, I'm really looking for more content in this game. Now, Far Harbor had a good amount of content, a good couple of hours of content. It included factions we had already seen before, Arcadia with the Synths, Children of the Atom, on a larger scale. So it wasn't anything necessarily new, to be quite honest. But, I said fair play because there was new enemies, new location, even though it kind of reminded me of the Point Lookout DLC from Fallout 3, and it wasn't the greatest locale. I let bygones be bygones because there was a lot of content and a lot of DLC. Just overall, there's new factions. There was an underground vault segment that was pretty interesting. I liked it for what it was worth. Only thing is, it was very uncertain what... It was very uncertain what content would be offered in terms of DLC in the future. In addition to the Far Harbor DLC so far, there's been the Automatron DLC, which had a few quests, but the main purpose of it was for you to be able to build your own robots as companions. I actually have Ada right here, with a Gatling laser and a Gatling rocket minigun. She's one of my most powerful companions because she can carry a lot and she has really powerful weaponry. So that was a cool DLC. You can build sentry bots and you can build pretty much any robot you want as long as you have the parts for it. So that was, and then there was a quest that was associated with it. Not long, but it had some objectives which were worth dealing with. Now, that was that DLC, and then there was an expansion that allowed you to make your own arenas and capture animals that you could tame and use in your communities. There were no quests associated with that, and then for the next DLC, there was actually after Far Harbor, we had it was a conveyor belt DLC that basically allowed you to make conveyor belts and different machinery that could move, and you could make this in various different ways. Again, more for the people that like to build stuff, not for people who really just want to use this content for quests, who want more of a story associated with this. That wasn't what this was for. For those kind of people, it was a balance. It's been a balance so far, and I feel like that's what Bethesda's been doing. They've been trying to balance it between people who want DLC content for the quest, and they also want people who like the building stuff, almost like the Minecrafty kind of building, making settlements, even though I think the settlement component of the game could have been implemented in the game a lot better. There are segments where you have to build stuff, most notably the relay generator that allows you to teleport into the Institute in the first place. However, other than a few building things, the whole idea of using settlements isn't necessarily used as much as I would have liked. So, there's been a balance of DLC content so far. Now, the Season Pass, all while this is going on, in March, it was announced by Bethesda that the Season Pass would be increasing in price from $30 to $50. And I'm not even sure if that's right. I think it might have been $60 actually. So almost, if not equal to, the price of the game, Fallout 4, if you just bought the normal version of the game, for all of the DLC content. And now I fortunately luckily they announced this on their page, and I quickly went out and bought the Season Pass back when it was $30, and I made sure to get a discounted Season Pass before I had to spend more money for no reason. And now I figured when the Season Pass went up, I was like, oh, well, they must be making new DLC. If they're going to jack up the price, that must mean that there's new content associated with this game in some form, right? Well, that's the title of this video, and that's really why I have to display my disappointment to Bethesda, because I expected more from them, and I did not expect what I heard at E3. It was at E3 at their press conference that Todd Howard announced this when he was being interviewed by the old founders of XPlay, Adam, I forget his name. It's Morgan and Adam, the two people who used to be in charge of XPlay, but they were interviewing Todd Howard, and he let it slip that the Nuka World DLC, which will be coming out in August, right after the Vault DLC, which allows you to make your own vaults, that's the last of the creation DLC. After that, that is the last DLC that Bethesda will be making. After Nuka World, after the full expansion, much like Far Harbor, that is the last expansion that they will be making. And that is basically confirmed from the mouth of Todd Howard. And I didn't think this was true at first. I said, no way. There's no way this is true. For me, I thought Bethesda would have new content, and I didn't even hear about this announcement until one of my friends actually told me, because I said, oh, well, there'll of course be more DLC content after Nuka World because they upped the price of the Season Pass. Well, that's not the case. I'll even leave a link to the video, or I might even play it alongside this video if I can scavenge it from the internet. But it is true. that this Nuka World in August will be the last DLC for Fallout 4. So it begs the question, for what purpose did Bethesda need to up the season pass? Was there any legitimate reason for them to increase the season pass? I don't think there was. I think there was absolutely no reason for them to increase the price of the season pass. Because what new content did they add to it? They increased the price of the season pass when they were wrapping up production in. They probably were already done. They probably already made everything that they did for Fallout 4 DLC-wise. And in March, they made the decision to increase the season pass. It doesn't take 5 months to decide whether to increase the price of something. It takes 5 months to make all of the DLC content. That I agree. But I completely disagree that a decision like that was made. There was no justification for it. Bethesda just announced it. Oh, we're going to have an increase in the DLC. The season pass is now more expensive. I don't... There's no justification for this. None at all. And it pisses me off because I know what Bethesda's capable of. I know that Bethesda is capable of engaging DLC that allows for multiple choices, with new factions, with old factions. If anything, look at the Mothership Zeta DLC that was inspired by the UFO that's crashed in Fallout 3. That was a major DLC which made you go into space with spacesuits fighting aliens, which weren't even a faction to fight. There's aliens in this game too. There's a UFO in Fallout 4. Why not do an Alien Part 2 DLC? Would it be just more of the same, or is Bethesda just that lazy? I don't really know what the answer to that question is, but I know that there's more content that Bethesda can do. And to be fair, the game hasn't even been out for a year. That's another thing I need to stress. Fallout 4 has not even been out for a year. This November will mark its 1-year anniversary. This August marks the end of its DLC support, and basically the end of Fallout 4 as we know it, because with no DLC support, Bethesda will just stop supporting this game altogether, other than releasing the mods on the PS4, and releasing new mods across the 3 systems, Xbox One, PS4, and PC, and frequently updating the system with patches if there's glitches and things that need to patch. Other than that, no support for this game whatsoever after August. And it's ridiculous because they spent so long making this game. And I thought that they would have wanted to continue supporting this game a year after it was released. A year after it was released. If I recall, the last Skyrim DLC didn't come out until, I believe, over a year after Skyrim came out. Because Skyrim came out in November 2011, and then the Dragonborn DLC came out in December 2012. On the 360, it came out first. And then there was a vampire werewolf DLC that came out over the summer. And that's another thing. Skyrim only had 2 major DLC pieces of content, and that was it for that game. And then they had one Creationist Hearthstone DLC. So I don't understand why the lack of content for that, but at least for Skyrim, there wasn't a season pass that was a lower price that was then jacked up. I can understand $30 for a season pass that gets you 2 major DLC expansions and then a few smaller ones where you can build stuff. Okay, fair play. I would have wanted more content, but if that's the way that the Bethesda's going to do it, then that's the way Bethesda's going to do it. I don't have much power over that. But at least market your product for what it's really priced. Because right now, it's not marketed for what it's priced. That's the major problem right now. And I've supported Bethesda for all of the content that they've done. And that's why it's really confusing to me that they would make this kind of decision. For Fallout New Vegas, which was made by Obsidian, and Fallout 3, both had large pieces of content. And I just don't understand why there was such a lack for a game that's on the next gen. This is Bethesda's first next gen game. They had an opportunity to really go all out and add as much content to this game as they possibly could. I would have been fine with one more DLC. Maybe if they released one more DLC in November to coincide with the launch, the 1-year anniversary launch of their game, that would be great. I've always been saying, what if there was an Enclave DLC where the Enclave remnants return and you have to deal with them and your character has to find out who they are? Because I am with the Brotherhood of Steel in this faction, or maybe if you were with the Institute, it would be a different storyline. You know, that would be cool, because then there'd be different choices based on the decision you made, which, for Fallout, making different choices is part of its RPG roots. And I feel like that's a no-brainer. So, I don't want the video to go on too long, but in the 15 minutes that I've done this, I've basically voiced the things that I've been most frustrated with this whole DLC process. It's ridiculous that a $60 game doesn't have that has a season pass that's priced almost as much as the game, doesn't have DLC with enough warranted content. I'm not trying to take away from the DLC that's been released, Far Harbor, and I'm sure Nuka World, you get to join raider factions from what I've seen. It's a Nuka-Cola theme park. I'm not sure if it's the most interesting thing, but I trust that Bethesda will have some sort of interesting story. But I have to say that the story of the main game was what I enjoyed most. The story of the DLC of Far Harbor really wasn't that entertaining. It gave me more experience to do more quests, and it had more new locations to explore and discover, sure. Other than that, it really didn't have much. So hopefully Nuka World can offer something, because it's the last one. And again, it pains me to know that this is the last expansion we'll be getting, because I put so much hard work into this character. 67, I got this Enclave power armor suit. Some of the weapons that I've amassed, you guys have been seeing me use all these weapons, and even my DLC playthrough, some of the things. Look at like my defense and my ratings with my character. I put time into this character. I have what, over how many stim packs? Like 400 or some shit? 400 fucking stim packs. It's ridiculous. Because I like this game, and I support Bethesda, and Fallout 3 was one of my first RPGs and one of the first videos that got me interested in YouTube. If I hadn't played Fallout 3, I might not be on YouTube right now. That was what inspired me to search other YouTubers and kind of get into that industry and market. And now I've supported Fallout 4 the best way I could by buying the Collector's Edition, the Season Pass, some action figures and figurines. I've supported this game a lot. Pour a lot of money into it. And I feel like I have a voice, and I can call out bullshit when I see it. This is Bethesda trying to make a quick buck. And it's nonsense, because people, if they were smart, they would lie to everybody. Just lie and make it say, oh, they wouldn't announce that Nuka World was the last DLC until the last possible minute. That way people are stupid, buy the season pass for $60, waste their money, and then they realize that there's no content after that. So, Bethesda, this was a terrible way of going about ending your game. You really should have waited till this fall to add one more piece of DLC and really give people some worth. I hope you guys have some mod support or something for this game, because I don't want this game to die out. It was a great game, and it really should be carried with some more support, just like Fallout 3 and New Vegas were. And those are my honest feelings on it. So, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed me running around the city, just blowing up random stuff. It's pretty much all I can do in this game now, because I have limited content to play, mainly because I've done most of the activity and quests. I'm clamoring for new Fallout content, and it would really please me if I could play some. But things don't always happen the way you want them to happen, I suppose. So that'll basically be it for this video. Leave your comments in the video. If you guys think maybe it's fair, if it's a justification for Bethesda to do this, Perhaps leave a comment below. I personally don't think so. I think raising the price right when the DLC was kind of coming to an end, now that we know that it's August, I still think that was pretty shit. So, thank you guys for watching, and tune in for more gaming content in the future. I plan on finishing the rest of Uncharted 4's campaign. I've already beaten it at this point, but I want to upload the rest of it. And after that, I'm also waiting for the Season 7 trailer for The Walking Dead at San Diego Comic-Con, so I can react and give you guys my impressions and thoughts for what's going to come in Season 7. I'm anticipating it, and it'll be a nice jump start for the channel, because I know most of my subscribers really like that kind of stuff. So, thank you. Peace out.